So hello guys, and welcome to another video, and today I will be ranking the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake badges on a tier list here, and I just wanted to give my thoughts on the badges here, and this is also for the remake specifically, so some of my thoughts on some of the badges in the remake differ from the ones in the original game. I mean, most of them are generally pretty similar, but I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on a lot of them with how they kind of, like, exist in the remake. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So, the first one is All or Nothing, and this is a great badge, but I think you get it a little too late. You get it in Chapter 8. I know that kind of makes sense to some degree, so it does kind of, like, it doesn't make it too overpowered, since it does give you extra attack power and everything, because it isn't that hard to, like, get the action commands down in this game. So you basically just get an extra, like, point of attack power and everything. But I feel like Chapter 8 is a little too late. We're also getting it from, like, Dark Craws or, like, Tarantulas. You have to go pretty far down into the pit to get that, and that's pretty small chance that you'll get that as well. So there's a very low availability of this, and I think it's just a little too late. If you get it around the same point that you would in Paper Mario 64, then this would absolutely be an S tier. I'm just gonna have to bring it down a little bit because of when you get it. So the next one are the FX badges. So we have like FXB. We'll put that on. We'll put these in cool gimmicks. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that, like, I'm splitting these up between, like, badges that are, like, actually useful in battle and just cool gimmicks and everything, or also, like, meh gimmicks as well. Attack FXG, this one in the remake is the one that has, like, Hooktail's weakness. Should I put it with the other badges here? You know what? I'll put it in, like, D, because, like, it technically has use in battle. Technically, I'm just gonna acknowledge that there and put it there. So, Attack FXP, I'll put that there. Attack FXR. I mean, my opinion on these are, like, I think they're all, like, pretty cool. Like, I think the sound effects are all pretty funny. But I'm just putting the one that's actually Hooktail's weakness, like, ranked with the other ones. I know it technically is, like, a gimmick, but I don't know. I think it would just be funny to kind of rank it with the other ones. So, Bump Attack. This one is actually pretty good. You do get it, like, pretty far down in the pit. And I mean, I guess this one depends on, like, when you do the pit. So, but it is pretty good when you're 100%ing the game. Actually, very good for, like, early areas of the game. So I think Beat tier kind of makes sense here. And next one is Charge P. I would definitely say, like, with Charge and Charge P is definitely the better one here. I'm going to have to say maybe the top of A tier, because that can be pretty fun to use, like, with partners and everything when taking down, like, bosses and things. Like, you could, like, swap out, like, with Yoshi and Goombella, charge them up, and then swap them out for another one, and then keep charging them up. That's pretty fun, and it can definitely help to deal, like, quite a lot of damage. And also with Charge, another good thing that I like about Charge is that it's good to get down to, like in a very easy way to get to 1 FP, so you could use Point Swap to get your partner in peril. So that's another good thing about Charge. Just naturally, the partner one would be better than the one for Mario. Like, since, like, ideally you would have, like, the partner, like, attacking and using, like, combining that with things like Power Rush P and Mega Rush P. But yeah, Chill Out, it's okay. I think it, like, depends on, like, how used to this game you are with, like, avoiding enemies and things. So I don't really have that much use for this. Personally, I would just put it in D. Like, I really, like, I don't think it's that hard to, like, avoid an enemy and everything, especially if you've got, like, first strikes down and you're kind of good with that. But, yeah, I just think, like, once you're, like, good with, like, doing first strikes, I don't think it's necessarily, like, the best badge to use and everything. But, yeah, moving on to Close Call. I would say Close Call P. I'm kind of hovering between, like, B tier and... You know what? I'll put it in B tier. I think it can be pretty useful sometimes, especially if you have, like, your partner in front and everything. So, Close Call. The regular Close Call here. I think this one is also pretty good as well. I would have that maybe... Actually, you know what? Since you would have Mario, like, you would... I think increasing Mario's evasion is more important. So, honestly, I'd stick that in S tier. Like, I think, like, having Mario's evasion in be higher, I think that is more important. Though, it is kind of important for the partner as well. So, I think they're both very good. The damage dodge... Let's see. I would say that's more important for Mario. Like, kind of a similar thing for Close Call. Like, for partners... I'll put that in C. Because I think, like, it still can be good for, like, keeping your partner kind of, safe and everything. But I think maybe A tier for Mario. Yeah, I think that's good. I think damage dodge for Mario A tier, partner C tier. That's kind of where I'm gonna go here. Defend plus. I don't necessarily dabble around with this one that much. So I'm just gonna put it in D tier. I like if you're pretty good with, like, having a good, or if you're using, like, damage dodge, and you're using, like, a lot of, like, lucky badges and things, like, I don't think it's as important to have, like, especially if you're going more for, like, attack power, I don't think it's as important to go for, like, defense, and especially since it uses 5 BP, that's quite a lot. So, I mean, I'd rather have that go towards, like, a power plus. So, I'll have that be lower. Double Dip, I really like. I would say Double Dip and Double Dip P. I think I'll put that in B tier. Like, especially since you can use it for, like, use Trial Stew to put your partner in peril and then replenish your FP. Actually, you know what? That's why I'll put the, yeah, I'll just rank the partner, double dip over, like, the regular one, just for that reason. So, next one is Double Pain. This one is kind of more, I think even though this is something that, like, affects you in battle, this technically is a gimmick. Because it's technically kind of going, like, against Mario here, so why would I put it in one that would, like, help you more? So, I think this goes in cool gimmicks, because it is a really cool gimmick. It's basically, like, essentially, like, somewhat of a hard mode, since, like, it doubles the amount of damage that Mario takes. So, yeah, I think it's good that it would go around here in cool gimmick. Feeling Fine. I really don't use this one that often, but I guess I'll put it in C tier. Like, the thing is, I usually use, like, Sweet Treat to kind of, like, heal from, like, status ailments and things. And put, like, the partner one in D, since that would be, like, since you're, like, protecting Mario, that would be, like, even less ideal, I guess. So, yeah. Wake Hammer, I really like here. I don't know why Quake Hammer is like all the way up here and like not in alphabetical order. So let's see. I'll put that in A. I really like Quake Hammer. That one is pretty fun to use. And first attack, I think I'll put this one a little higher than bump attack. Because this one can have, like, you get it earlier in the game. In the remake, it costs 0 BP to equip. So I think, like, it's even better than bump attack, like, in the remake specifically. Like, they kind of make it almost to the point where it's, like, that feature in the modern Paper Mario games, where you, like, hit an enemy and, like, it instantly kills it. They're basically upgrading it from, like, a badge that you need BP for from, like, an actual feature in the game, even though you still buy it for, like, 100 coins. So I think, like, it's still... I still think it's a little better since it takes up less... Well, I mean, at least, like, earlier in the game, it takes up less BP. So, Flower Finder. I think this one is... I would say this one would go in B. Is like, it can be helpful sometimes, I'd say, like, for, like, getting more, like, FP and everything, especially if you're doing, like, low FP runs, like I'm doing right now. So, I think this one could be useful sometimes. Flower Saver is even more useful, I would say. Flower Saver P, I would say that goes in S tier. Actually, they both go in S tier. They're both very good, I would say. Like, especially when you're going for only BP. Like, you're keeping your FP at 5. This is extremely useful, and it could be the only way you can actually utilize some moves. So I think Flower Saver is great. In FP Drain, you know, I really don't like this one that much. Because, like, I think it's just, like, especially if you're going for more attack power, it's like, I don't know, do you, like, I'm not gonna quite put it in F tier, but I really don't like this one that much. FP Plus. This technically counts as a gimmick? I'll just put it in meh. I don't know. Like, it's like, I don't want to rank it on here, because I mean, like, it does, like, have some flexibility, but at the same time, like, yeah, I think this one kind of makes sense. I think I'll put, like, the regular, like, HP Plus in here as well. I mean, like, even though it's, like, I'm saying it's meh, it still is useful and everything, but I don't know. Like, I don't really have much opinion on this one. Cool if you are, like, kind of having some flexibility between your HP and FP, though. But what is a really cool new cosmetic is the gold medal. I think this one is pretty cool. I'll definitely put this one towards, like, honestly, since it's like a really cool 100% bonus, I'll put that at the top of cool gimmick, because I think that is really fun. And I definitely feel like it feels like a rewarding 100% completion reward. It definitely feels pretty fun overall. So, next one is Hammer Throw. This one, I don't know. I feel like this one was kind of, like, it doesn't feel as useful in the remake. Like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna put this one in C. Like, I really haven't used it that much. Like, especially since you can use Flurry instead. So, or, like, there's, like, other things you could do. You could use, like, Earth Tremor, So, like, if for, like, either, like, for, like, enemies on the ceiling, or, like, flying enemies and everything. So, I think it's extremely situational, I would say, and I haven't really found much use for it. Hammerman, I know Jumpman is an amazing badge, but Hammerman, I feel like it's not quite as useful, I would say. So, I don't know, I'm trying to think about where I could put this one. Maybe in C. I think I'll put it in C, because, I mean, yeah, like, Hammer only goes so far, I would say, in this game. Jump, you can build off of it much more. So that's why I'll put it, like, a little lower here. But once we get the Jumpman, that one is going to be so much higher here. So, yeah. So, with Happy Flower, I would say, like, since you need, like, FP more than you do HP, I would say B tier is fine for this one. Like, I know, like, the badge, like, there's a lot of stigma behind the badges where, like, it replenishes a certain stat during the battle. But even though, like, the rate of it is kind of slow, you do need FP more than HP. So this does have that strong point in that. But Happy Heart, I don't like this one. Honestly, that's going to be the first F tier one. I really don't like Happy Heart that much. Because it's like, you don't really get it at a good rate. Oh, and especially for, like, partners as well. Like, for both Mario and partners, if you're doing, like, if you're trying to keep Mario in danger, or you're trying to keep partners in peril, like, if you're wearing that, like, that instantly, like, kind of, takes that out of the question. So, if you want that, you wouldn't want to equip these. So, yeah. So, Head Rattle. So, this one, like, confuses the enemies, like, that you hit it with. And I also really haven't found it to be that useful, since, like, the moves where you inflict confusion on an enemy tend to not be very useful. So, yeah, I'm putting that in F tier as well. I'll put it in, I'll sandwich it in between the Happy Hearts here, because Happy Heart P, I would say that's a little worse. Heart Finder, I would put that, like, maybe in C, I would say. Is that, like, I mean, like, if you're trying to keep your partner in peril, you're gonna want to, like, avoid the hearts. But at the same time, it can be useful in, like, some instances, like, in the Pit of 100 trials. So, I think C tier would be fine for that. So, HP Drain. Similar idea to, like, what I was saying with, FP Drain. But in this case, like, a little worse, I would say. So, I'm just gonna put that in, like, F again, especially for the partner ones. So, HP plus P. Okay, this one is gonna differ a little bit. I'm gonna put this, like, since this one, the difference between the HP plus here is that this actually allows for more flexibility, while this one is just not necessary at all. It's really not that necessary. Well, I mean, I guess in some instances, I'll put it in D. Like, this one, yeah, you get some flexibility here, but this one, really, what's the point? Sometimes, because you already get a decent amount of HP with, like, well, you can keep Mario's in 10 or 5 HP, and you could choose to build off of that. With the partners, you get, like, a fixed, HP, like, with each of their levels. So, you really don't need this that much. Ice Power. I think this one could be decent sometimes, like in Chapter 5. But it is situational though. Like there aren't too many instances where you will use this. I mean, it's mainly useful for like fire and lava bubbles, or fire, lava bubbles and embers. That's what I meant to say. In Phantom Embers as well. So I think I'll put that in C tier. And Ice Smash. I think like this one can be useful sometimes. So I think I'll put that in C tier as well. Item Hog. I don't know, like you already get like quite a lot of badges in the game, so this isn't necessarily that useful, I would say. So I'll put that in E. Jumpman. Oh, this one is actually pretty good. Like, even though it disables Hammer, like if you're using this like in a battle that you know you are only gonna use Jump and just like power bounce and things, just like this one is pretty great, I would say. I would put this definitely in S tier. And we have the L emblem next. That definitely is a pretty cool gimmick, so I'll put that in like the cool here, especially since you could have also do the Waluigi one as well. And Last Stand. So yeah, this one is where you receive like half as much damage as normal. Like if you are doing something like Danger Mario, I'll put this in like A tier, since that can be useful. And then for partners, like naturally that would be a little less useful, but still useful, so B tier for that one. Lucky Day. So yeah, I would say with this one, it cost quite a lot of like BP, which is why it's going to be a little lower than Pretty Lucky. But still, I would say this one, like, it has use. So I would say, like, B tier, since Lucky Badges can be quite good sometimes. So the next one is Lucky Start, which can do, like, a random thing, for like a random effect for Mario. And since it's, like, a random effect, you really don't know what's going to happen. I think it's going to be E tier, just due to the nature of it and everything. Mega Rush P. Instantly at the top. Instantly at the top. This one is borderline, like, it straight up is broken. It straight up is broken. Because you could just, like, destroy so many bosses with this one. Like, since it, like, basically gives your partner, like, 5 more attack power, and, like, when you get them to peril. That's why there are peril strats. That's why, like, there are things like Trial Stew and Point Swap. This is just, like, one of the best. Well, it is the best one in the game, I would say. Like, it's pretty hard to debate that. So, yeah, and I would say regular Mega Rush, I would say that's pretty good as well. I'll put that, like, towards the bottom of S tier, since you mostly want to get the partner into peril. But it does have some use for Mario sometimes. That back up. S tier, but yeah, I think that can have some use for, like, Mario sometimes. If you, like, are doing, like, a strat where you're getting, like, Mario in peril or something. That's actually how I took down Prince Mush, so I think that can be good. Next one is Money Money. And since you get so many coins in this game, this one really isn't that useful. So I'm going to create a new tier. I'm gonna say you already get too much money in the remake. There we go. And I'll make it this color here. Yeah, I'm not gonna put it quite in F tier because it's not bad, but like it really isn't that useful. Since you get like a ton of coins in the remake. You get like bonuses after like the bosses and everything. You know what? I'm gonna put like the rest of like the coin related badges here. Like refund. Like that really isn't that useful as well. So yeah, like in the original game it already wasn't that good. But since you get so much money in the remake, it's really like even less useful now. Multi-bounce. I think this one is very good. Like, I think this one is useful in a lot of situations. The only thing is, like since you won't always have, like, a ton of, like, attack power if you're, like, just using this for, like, regular enemies. And I mean, there are better ways of clearing out enemies. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, you know what? I'll put this at the top of B tier, because I think it is, like, very good. But I think there are better badges and better, like, moves for clearing out enemies and everything. Okay, I would say nostalgic tunes. I would say this one is definitely the coolest gimmick out of all of them, I would say. This one is definitely pretty great that you have the opportunity to actually change the music to, like, the older music from the original game. So, yeah, I'm gonna put this in, like, cool gimmick and everything. So, E down, D up. So, I mean, in some instances, this can be useful, like with the Mario one. Like, if you're specifically trying to, like, have more emphasis on the partners attacking than Mario, I think this one can be situational, but not always useful. Partner one, though, I think most of the time you are trying to get the partner to have, like, like a higher attack power, so, I'm gonna put that in F tier. Really, don't use that one. So, E up, D down. I'm gonna do this one first, the regular version of it. For Mario, I would say A tier for that one, and partner, definitely S tier. Like, especially if you're trying to make your partner like a glass cannon. I think that's definitely pretty good. Maybe even a little, I'm not sure, maybe I'll put it here. I think that's fine. Okay, so Peekaboo. This one is kind of like a gimmick badge. I think that kind of makes sense to put it in this one. No, put it in the gimmick, because since you have Tattle, and also another badge that I'm gonna mention in just a little bit, it basically trivializes this badge. I mean, like, I guess it could be useful in, like, some specific cases, but, just in my opinion, it's just a meh gimmick. Piercing Blow. I think this one is similar to Multi-Bounce, where I can actually find a decent use for this in some scenarios, in, like, regular enemy battles. Like, the only problem with this one is because there are a lot of there aren't a lot of enemies in this game that have high defense. So I will put it towards the bottom of B tier, but I still think this has a use in some areas. So, Pity Flower. I don't know, like, I don't really, like, have that much use for this one, since, like, it does take, like, 3 BP and everything, so, I don't know, I guess, maybe, like, C tier, maybe? I don't know, like, I haven't used it that much. Maybe, you know what, maybe D tier. I just don't have that much use for it. Okay, I'm not sure if this is a controversial opinion or not. I mean, positive controversial opinion. But I would say Power Bounce is still goated. It's still goated. I would still say it's like the second best badge in the game. Like, even though they did technically artificially nerf it to have that 1 frame window. Once you get used, I know it gets hard to get used to a 1 frame window, but I've actually been somewhat pulling it off. Like, I've been pulling it off for like some like scenarios and everything. I actually power bounced up to 10, like 10 hits in the remake and went through 2 single frame windows. So I think you can, there is a learning curve in the remake, don't get me wrong, but I still think it can be pretty useful. I still think it is pretty goated. Okay, so for Power Jump, I would say this one is pretty decent, I would say. Like, I would say this, like, and Power Smash as well. Like, I find myself using this a decent amount, like, during, like, normal battles and everything. Like, if you need it. So, Power Plus, I would say this is definitely, like, since it does cost a lot of BP, but I would say this is, like, a pretty solid, like, A tier one. And then I would also say the same with, like, Power Plus P. Power Plus P obviously is going to be a little better. But yeah, I think that one is definitely a pretty good badge. Like, when you need it and you have, like, a lot of BP and everything, even though it does cost a lot, you could still work around it, and it does offer, like, another, like, attack point and everything. So Power Rush and Power Rush P, I would say, honestly, like, Power Rush P, yeah, that would definitely go, like, up in, like, S. And I'd even say, like, the regular, like, Mario Power Rush, I would also say, like, maybe, like, right below the, Mario Mega Rush. I would say they both deserve S. Because I think they are both, like, very good. Like, especially since you have, like, that full window with, like danger and everything, which is, like, a little more than Peril. So it does give it, like, a little bit of flexibility, but still not as good as Mega Rush, but still, I would still say it's very good. And especially since you can, like get a ton of these and, like, stack these. That's, like, definitely what makes these kind of broken. So, pretty lucky. I would say pretty lucky, like, the one for Mario would definitely go up in A, I would say. Because this is definitely, like, a great lucky badge to, like, stack and everything, since it only costs 2 BP, which I would say is pretty good. And pretty lucky P, I would say maybe, like, C tier, because, like, it isn't, you know what, I'll put it in B tier. I think I find some use for it sometimes. Like, since it is only 2 BP, like, really, what can go wrong with that? Now, another goated badge, Quick Change. I would say this is probably my, like, 3rd favorite badge behind, Mega Rush P and Power Bounce. Because this one is great. This is one that I always have equipped. Is there's so much, like, flexibility and nuance and strategy that you can have with this. It's just so useful. But what's not useful at all is return postage, because you get it at the bottom of the pit, and it's not that good, and I have no use for it, because it's just like, I don't know, just because it stings that this is the thing that you get from at the bottom of the pit, like, for I know it's not the only reward now, like in the remake, since you get 999 coins, but I don't know, like, I really do not like return postage. I know maybe it's not objectively the worst, which is why I won't put it at the very bottom, maybe like somewhere around here, but I don't like this one. And one that I also find, well, definitely not F tier, but like one that I don't really have that much use for is Shrink Stomp. Because it's like I know it could technically like reduce the attack power and everything, but I haven't like really found that much use for this one, since it doesn't necessarily like matter that much in some battles, so I think maybe like somewhere around D tier. So Simplifier, this is another one where kind of like depends on the player, which is why I'll put it in C tier. And I'll also kind of like maybe put like Unsimplifier somewhere. I'll have to think. Like, you do get more star power from it, so I think I'll put that in B. And it also kind of makes it like a little more of a fun challenge as well. So Sleepy Stomp. That's another one, like, I think I'll put that like next to like Shrink Stomp, because that's like another like highly situational one that I really like haven't found that much use for. Oh. This one. What the frick, man? Don't touch me, man. What are you even doing here, man? You're so old. Go back to your wife and kids. Go down to the bottom of Meg Gimmicks, because it's not good. That's all I'll say about Slow Go. It is just not good. Another one that's not very good, I would say, is Soft Stomp, but I'm not going to put it in F because I don't think it's that bad. But that's Soft Stomp, like, because it's also very situational, because like I said earlier, there are, like, a lot of... There are not a lot of enemies that have high defense, so this one, again, is, like, very situational. One that I do kind of like, though, is Spike Shield. I think this one kind of, like, I would say this one goes somewhere around B, because I do use this one quite a lot, since there are, like, a decent amount of spiky enemies in the game. So, I think Spike Shield definitely works in a lot of cases. So, Super Appeal, I would say this one is alright. Like, I'll put both of them in C tier here, because, like, I think this one could be alright if you need, like, if you don't have many badges and you have this one, like, yeah, like, it only costs 1 BP, like, whatever, you could, it's fine. So, Timing Tutor, I have barely ever used this one at all. I am assuming this one is just, like, a gimmick, so I'm just gonna put this in meh gimmick. It's like, I don't know. Another one that, like, is just very situational is Tornado Jump, which I'd also put in D tier here. So, I don't know. You know what? Maybe I'll upgrade Chill Out the C tier, like, just for, like, the objective standpoint of, like, some people having, like, some use for it. So I'll put that one there. And then we have the W emblem, which is amazing. I'll put that right next to, well, these two are tied. Just, like, I'm definitely going to be fair and say they're tied. And Zap Tap, I quite like Zap Tap. I think this one's a fun badge. Like, especially, like, with the... I know this is a very situational scenario, but the enemies that, like, suck out your HP, like, this one basically like, just feels like this one basically kind of, just makes you completely immune to them, which is, like, another upside to them. So I'll put this in B tier. I think this one, like, can be quite good sometimes. Oh, one more thing. I think I should probably put this at the bottom of D tier, is I think these definitely outclass it. I don't know why that was sticking up at the top of D tier the whole time. And a couple more things I'd change. Tornado Jump, even more, like, situational. I would say it's around there. Okay, I would say this is probably my ranking here. Oh, and one thing that this tier list actually forgot to include is Fire Drive. Honestly, one of the best badges in the game. I would say this is definitely up there in S tier. I can't believe this template forgot about it, but yeah, there we go. That is my tier list of the badges in the Paper Mario Thousand Year Door Remake. Let me know what you think down in the comments. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.